Here's a little sneak peek. The real champ is... Hey guys, welcome, or if this is your first... Hey guys, welcome back. Hey guys, welcome back to McFlippins, or if this is your first time tuning in, welcome. This is McFlippins, where we talk eBay and do some eBay sales, stuff like that. I'm Mickey, eBay dealer, full-time, as well as antique dealer, military dealer. I like to sell vintage and collectible stuff like that. But my eBay is a little bit of everything, so I'm going to go over a few sales today. Went to a couple flea markets over the weekend, over the Labor Day weekend, and it was kind of pitiful actually, but did have a really good score of some vintage clothing, which I'll show you here in a little bit, so stay tuned for that. There's some really great stuff, I think. We'll see. But first, grab a couple sales here. One of my favorite shows growing up has always been the show MASH, and little known fact that there was a toy line for that show. It wasn't very popular. I don't think it took off because it's also a weird show to have a toy line for, but there was a toy line. Did sell one. Down here in my shelf, drawers right here. Yeah. Made by TriStar. Right there, TriStar Vehicles. Hawkeye, the star of the show, Benjamin Franklin Pierce. There were all the figures. You had Hawkeye, BJ, Hot Lips, Charles, Colonel Potter, Father Mulcahy, and Klinger, but you also got a Klinger that wasn't in a dress. They made the helicopter, the Jeep, and the ambulance. I've had the Jeep, but I've never seen an ambulance or the helicopter. Well, I've had the helicopter, but it was loose. If you find the Jeep or the ambulance or the helicopter in a box, you scored. Because they're going to be at least $200-$300, I would guess. But he sold for $30 plus shipping. Something I've been buying a lot more of lately is vintage clothing or clothing in general. It's something I've kind of been dabbling with for years because vintage clothing and military almost go hand in hand in a way. Because a lot of the uniforms are really popular in the vintage clothing world. So I have been in the world, so to speak, but I'm coming across more of it. It seems to be something some dealers can underestimate, or I can find at a flea market for relatively cheap and sell for a decent profit. And I just sold a t-shirt. This one wasn't too old, probably 15-20 years old, but it was Harley Davidson. It sold for $17. Yeah, $17 plus shipping for this Harley Davidson shirt. Fairly certain I paid $2 for it, and it came with a Bill Elliott vintage NASCAR Bill Elliott t-shirt, an all-around graphic shirt. That ended up selling for like $90, so I've already definitely made my money on that, so the $17 was just profit. And this monstrosity finally sold. I've had this listed for a long time. I've had it way before I even started doing eBay full-time. It's been to a couple flea markets, some antique shows, and I couldn't get rid of it. But it finally sold. Now, what it is, judging from my research after I got it, it's an African Sinufo fire spitter helmet. Probably some kind of deal they made to sing with, tourist or something. But I lost money on this, to be honest with you. But it's been sitting around for so long, and it's a big, ugly, weird piece. I'm just glad to be rid of it because, like I said, I've had it for probably more than 2 years at this point. And I'm not in the business of losing money. I don't like to lose money, but sometimes if it's been sitting around that long, I'm willing to take the hit to get it off my shelf. I got $87 for it plus shipping. I paid $100, so I'm not out a ton of money, but it's still it still stings a little bit, but it's off my shelf. If you saw my pick and video from Madison Balcony Antique Show, I bought these there. It's one of my few buys I did actually end up capturing on the camera. But the Godfather film car placard. These were given out to the crew, bought it from the prop master of the movie. You get him for the Godfather card things.
I worked on the movie.
Really?
Yeah.
They were given up to the crew to put in the windows of their cars so their cars didn't get towed off the set while filming. So that was kind of cool. But I paid $250 for 7 of these. I think it was 7, something like that. And this one ended up selling because I decided I'm going to list them one at a time because I don't want to flood it because there's already a few listed. One guy has one listed for like $3,000. Another guy had one listed for like $500. Another guy had them listed for like 200 something. And the guy, they're all coming from the same guy. And I tried to buy. I think I bought all he had left. I hope, we'll see. But anyway, it did sell for $100, free shipping, and I'll just sandwich that between some cardboard. Probably put it in a bubble mailer after that. So it'll be good to go. $100. I'll list another one because I don't want to flood the market because they're already out there. So I figured by undercutting everybody else, because I paid roughly, what was it, about 30 bucks a piece or something like that. Divide 250 by 7, or 7 by 2. Yeah, 250 by 7. Math, not my strong suit. Leave the gun. Take the cannoli. Quick break away from sales really quick to show you a couple of the shirts that I scored, which I think are really good. I still got some research to do on them. But they're vintage rap tees, but they're in sweater form, or sweatshirt, however you want to call it. But this one's hilarious because it's a rap style tee, but you just got to see it for yourself. The Pope, John Paul II, welcome. That's the first one. I got 2 of these. They have vintage tags. This one says ladies 2XL, ladies 2XL. What's this one? It says the same thing, ladies 2XL, made in USA. There's another one. This was a Little Italy shirt I got from the same place. Little Italy, New York City. Single stitch, I think. Yeah. Also, picked up a couple vintage Looney Tunes with the original tag. I cannot find that particular too many images of that Daffy. I was able to find one example, but it was on a black shirt. I think they wanted over $100 for it. But as for these Pope shirts, I have no friggin' clue how to price those. One, I've only been able to find like this particular image on the shirt on another like t-shirt. And again, I think it was like a $400 shirt. I mean, I know enough about vintage. I'm no expert in vintage clothing, never claimed to be. As I said, it's something I've been dabbling in for a while, but I think I know enough to get myself in trouble, and these seem like a great buy. The guy I got them from at the flea market, he had tons of older shirts, but a lot of them were like, you could tell it was from like a touristy souvenir kind of shop, because there was like a lot of like a couple like Calvin and Hobbes. You remember, you know, those like back in the 90s, it was like cool to bootleg those for them for some reason, and some other like offbeat, just not anything name brand clothing. You could tell it was like they had like a screen printing shop or something like that, wherever they got them from. But I grabbed all the rap tee style ones, and they seem to be good, especially after some of the ones I've seen online. From what I can tell, they got the same tags, so that's a good thing. And I'll show you a couple more here in a minute after we do a couple more sales, because there's some cool ones. The Pope ones, just weird, but I had to show it off anyway. This early Eisenhower presidential piece finally sold. I've had this listed for a really long time, probably when I first started doing eBay seriously, so almost a year or so. But that sold for $29.97, free shipping. Military patch that just sold, pretty sure. See, F-106 318th Fighter Squadron, I think that is. Sold for $24.97, free shipping. As some of you may know, if you've been watching the channel for a little while, you know I love to sell military stuff, especially World War II. But one of my favorite things to sell is helmets. They're pretty much a surefire sale any day. Not any day. That's a exaggeration. But if you could get them reasonably priced. They're pretty much a guaranteed sale eventually. It usually takes me no more than a month or so to sell most of the helmets I list. Though the ones I do have listed currently have been sitting for a couple weeks, but it's been, slow on eBay for the last few weeks. Anyway, so, but this one sold. It's a World War II swivel bail, front seam swivel bail, with a liner, Westinghouse liner, probably a post-war liner, but that sold for $224.97 plus shipping. That's a pretty accurate pricing, a good World War II helmet with a liner, chin straps, all that stuff should be at the very least $200 based on condition. But that being said, if you don't know what you're looking at, not all helmets are World War II helmets. So there are things to help you know when you're looking at a World War II helmet, though. And I think I put out a video for paratrooper helmets, but it's kind of a horse of different colors. So I am thinking about doing a video on helmets just to give, like a basic knowledge to like antique dealers, because most military guys know the difference easy enough, but not all antique dealers do. So let's take a look at the other ones. Here's a little sneak peek. The real champ is back. Mike Tyson. Iron Mike Tyson Rap T vintage sweater. And the only one I could find similar to this was a t-shirt. So I know that is different, obviously. But it sold for $1,900. I don't know. Is this worth $1,900? I have no clue. I hope it is. That'd be cool. I'm not getting my hopes up, but it might be. It might be. It's double sided. You got that's then on this side it says KO. It's a knockout. Now this next one is probably the best one, arguably. See that there? Notorious B.I.G. Or as I said, Notorious Big, and then I was corrected by my girlfriend. Apparently it's B.I.G., but that makes sense with the periods in between the letters. Anyway, Notorious B.I.G. Rap T. Again, comps hard to find for a sweater. I think it was this graphic or similar graphics of Notorious T-shirts, rap tees. There was a couple sweaters, but they were in the $2,000 plus range. Now these were places that are they're asking prices, because not all of these were from eBay. Because I had to do a deep dive internet search to find some of these, like Google image and just the old-fashioned way typing stuff in to get some comps. A couple were from eBay, some were from some just random websites like Granted or something, or Grailed or something like that. Some websites I've never heard of, where they're also selling clothing, and the prices were all over the place. So I do not know. Could this be worth $2,000? That'd be nice. But again, not getting my hopes up. On this side, it says the King of New York. One more chance. Looks like there's some schmutz. Something on there. Other than this, they've never been worn. Here are the tags on this one. Top made in Panama. Panama. And here's the third one that I got. Third style. How High with Method Man, Redman. That's this side. The other side is Redman, Method Man right there. Now this one, I couldn't find this side, this picture of Method Man and Redman, but the How High graphic I was able to find. And again, I think that one was like $400 or $500 listed price. And these aren't all eBay prices too. These are like, I had to do a deep dive in the internet doing like Google searches and word searches and finding other websites that sell like vintage clothing and going off of those prices. The Mike Tyson $1,900 one, that was an eBay price. So, and I got 2 of these Notorious Big ones too, of the same one. 2 of the Pope ones. Here was another Looney Tunes shirt that I grabbed, also with the original tag up there. They're playing volleyball. I couldn't find this particular graphic of them playing. Same with Donald here. I got, besides the one hanging up, I got this one, and this one. So 4 of the same ones, and they're all decent sizes, I think. Yeah, I think they're all large. That one's an XL. I don't know. I may have scored. I don't think I did bad either way. I paid $50 for the whole pile. Just because the guy, he tried to sell me all the shirts, which was almost, it was kind of tempting. But like I said earlier, they were a lot of touristy graphic printed ones with, like Calvin and Hobbes, stuff like that. And it was a great deal, but they weren't like single stitch, and there was like 20, 30 of the same kind. It was really tempting, but I'm actually looking to downsize right now, so it would have been almost counterproductive to buy bulk at this moment. Normally, I would have been all over it. It was a great deal. $75 he wanted for all of them. And I was like, ugh. And I think I gave him more than he wanted for these, because it was like $5 each that he was looking. And he was like, and I'll give you a deal if you buy more than one. They were $5 each, so I grabbed the ones I wanted. Then he made me that offer for $75, and I was like, ugh. I looked through all the shirts again, and I'm like, nah, man, I just don't have a use for all these extra ones. I grabbed all of the Rap T stuff and gave him $50 for the pile I had. So pretty sure that's more than he wanted initially. Maybe not. I gotta do the math. And I almost forgot. I got some other kind of neat vintage T-shirts there at the same flea market from a different vendor. International Harvester Club. These are vintage. This one's a single stitch. They're from the 90s, because the guy said he hasn't been in the club since the 90s. And one was dated 96. I don't know what I did with it. Too much crap in here. Oh, here's another rap tee I got. Forgot about this one. Never heard of this group, though, but I'm going to listen to them now. Maybe I'll put up a video, a quick little clip of them. These, I left 2 of these laying there. I thought I grabbed them all, but apparently I left 2 of these brownstone ones. But I'd never heard of them. But I can't find another one I can't find any comps of. But they're an R&B group from the early 90s. But that was another one I found from the guy I got the sweaters from. And then the International Harvester ones. Couldn't find any comps for these either, but I'd imagine these are probably at least $25, $30 a piece, maybe a little more. We'll see. One of the things that kind of got me into vintage clothing was hats. I like hats just myself because I like to wear them because I'm bald, so I wear a lot of hats. But yard sale I went to a few years ago, I made a killing off of about like 40, 50 hats that this lady had for $5 a piece, and I spent a couple $100 there, and I made well over $2,000, over $1,500, $2,000 off that lot between eBay and other places. This is years ago at this point, but this is when hats must have been at their peak, because they've definitely come down since then, because some of the ones I know would have been like 40, 50 then, or like 20, 30 now. So, but I sold a few hats today, not vintage, but cool nonetheless. Gotta grab them. I need a better system for my hats. This is currently how I'm doing my hats, and it's not very efficient, but that is one of the ones I need to grab. But yeah, I definitely need a better system for now that I got. Well, it started with one box. I had them in one comic book long box, and obviously I've bought a few more since then, so definitely need a better system. But yeah, I definitely got to figure out a better system for the hats. I think I'm going to start categorizing them by like sports, then teams, and then advertising, like Sprite. Sprite hats sold. It took way too long to find 3 hats for my liking. But Sprite hat sold for $13.47, free shipping. And this Tullamore Dew Irish whiskey hat with the sticker still on there, sold for $10 plus shipping. Never heard of it, but whatever. It's gone. A lot of these hats I got from one buy at a flea market a few weeks ago. Probably bought around 200, 300 hats from one vendor for a couple, like, I think it was like $100, 100 or 200. And gone through, pretty sure I've made my money back already. I've sold a few for like 20, 30. One did sell for like $50. So well, pretty much we're getting into the profit here finally on those, and I still got a lot left to sell. So I figure after eBay fees and taxes and stuff like that, off of a $200 investment, I should make around $500 or $600. It'll take time. That's the only thing. It'll take a lot of time to sell hats individually over time. This Harley Davidson corduroy hat. This actually I bought at a yard sale down the road from my own house, which doesn't happen often because I live in the middle of nowhere. Bought like 12 hats, 12 vintage hats for $1 a piece. There was a cool Hulkamania one in there, but this is the first one to sell out of that lot. They've only been listed for not quite a week yet. But this one sold for $19 plus shipping. So this pays for my whole pile from that yard sale. So now whatever I get on the rest of those hats, which was that all I got? Well, yeah, it was all I got was hats. Yep. So anything from here on out is just pure profit from that little sale. So I don't know about these, I've done a little more research on rap tees, bootleg rap tees and stuff like that, and I don't think they're good. There's an authenticating thing you can send them to. I might try that. It costs like $18. I figured I'd send one of them, but I got most people asking me how much do I want for them, and then one or two people saying they're fake. Bootlegs are bootlegs. So it's confusing because if they're bootlegs, they're good, but if they're bootlegs of a bootleg, that's bad. That's what I've learned from my little bit of research I've been doing. I've watched a few videos and just kind of been trying to learn about these rap tees. But I don't know. That's why I'm no expert on these, and I'm getting mixed reviews from Facebook experts. So I guess I'm gonna try the authenticator thing, go from there, see what I can do. So I guess that'll be a video for the future, whether or not I scored big or it's a whammy. I don't know. If you know, if it's something if you're a clothing guy and could tell me straight out the real, fake, what I can do with them, if they're worth anything, if they're just garbage, let me know in the comments. So I guess that'll do it for today, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Like I said, if you got any input that I could use for these, greatly appreciated. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Catch you next time.